everybody for coming along. Brilliant. All to the shoulders. I would usually talk off the top of my head, but that's going to be important to making sure that we demonstrate we're going to make a few statements tonight. It's going to be about Amy, okay? We're here to make a few statements tonight. I think everybody's here to talk about these inappropriate health and wellbeing surveys that this government is rolling out to our school kids. Okay. 14 and 16-year-olds, many of them were 14-year-olds were 12 at the start of all this restrictions and things. And at the end of this terrible 2 years that we've had, now they're going to be presented with this for their well-being, not ideal. As the focus of tonight's event is on surveys, I thought it would be useful for me to do a quick survey on the people here tonight. So, are there any parents or guardians here who would say that the sexual questions and the nature of this survey would cause them or their children distress, alarm or fear?
Yes.
It can't be good for them. Grannies as well, good on the grannies. They're bearing in mind, these kids, they say this is a blind poll, a completely anonymous poll. They have to put in their SCN number, their Scottish candidate number, that identifies them. Yep, that identifies them. So, would any of you say that this survey is an invasion of their right to privacy?
Yes!
Okay. After the last 2 years, the Scottish school kids have gone through, Birmingham have gone through a lot more than a lot of the other nations in this country, which is a joke. Would you say that a survey of this nature should do them more harm than good?
Yes!
We should be focusing on getting their life back to normal, not asking them questions. Nicola Sturgeon has been asked by parents groups and councils to scrap this intrusive survey. She has refused point blank. Do you think Nicola Sturgeon should scrap these surveys immediately?
Yes!
And Sturgeon! If the Scottish press are here, which I hope they are, I hope they report on this event fairly. Do you think that the Scottish press should present these questions in full to their readers and use their own polls to see if their own readers feel that these surveys should be scrapped?
Yes!
We'll invite the press to ask their readers what they think of them. Let's see what Scotland thinks of this stuff. Do you think, Nicola? Oh, that's right. They refused to answer it. Do you think Nicola Sturgeon is out of touch with the mood of the Scottish people?
Yes!
Okay. I'll tell you somebody who's not out of touch with the mood of the Scottish people. Glasgow Cabbies. This man Steph Shaw does some amazing good. The press are very kind to him, for all the right reasons he should be. He's a fighter, and all he does is fight for good. He fights for mental health, he fights to help people suffering from suicidal tendencies, he fights for Glasgow, and now he's fighting for the kids throughout Scotland. He's a top man. Can I ask you to put your hands together for Glasgow Cabbie, Steph Shaw.
Wow, thanks very much for coming along here tonight. It really is a pleasure to look at the amount of people here that genuinely concern themselves with the children of Scotland. And you people care far more than the Scottish Government. I must thank Steve Pollard for coming along here today. Steve's an immense help to me, as have so many others. The amount of people have offered their hand of friendship, have come to me, contacted me and put themselves out to be here, not for me, but for the children of Scotland. These are important people. Now, the Scottish Government, to my mind, are committing a crime. Yes. That crime is sex abuse of children in Scotland. If I was to stand in Buchanan Street with any lady in here, any lady at all, and ask the questions directly from the survey, directly from the Scottish Government survey, to 14 and 15-year-olds, I would be arrested in minutes. I would be charged with sex offences. So therefore, what gives the Scottish Government a right to challenge our children, put them under severe pressure to answer paedophilic questions at school, where they could be embarrassed by their peers? This is a crime being committed in front of each and every one of us. And I'm so glad that you guys are here in support of these children. They matter deeply to me. I've got 2 elderly children in their 20s, I've no grandchildren. I'm just glad that I'm here and that we've got voices here. We've also got Richard Lucas here of the Scottish Family Party. Richard's got more knowledge on the crimes being committed by the Scottish Government, and Nicola Sturgeon, who refuses point blank to withdraw these surveys. She is committing crimes against our children. Nicola does not have children of her own. They've labelled this a health and well-being. Well, if this is health and well-being, I don't want to know what perversion is, because this is paedophilic perversion. I'm just looking at the depth of people right up the back there and out the front and crowding in, and I really feel touched that you have come along here to give us the backing that we badly require. Now, there are some people here today also, tonight also. Wee Mandy, tremendous help. She's brought along the actual survey itself, as well as some other literature. As is Richard Lucas for the Scottish Family Party. So there's lots of literature here. If you've not got something, then you'd be welcome to collect something. I'm quite nerve-wracked. I didn't think I would be, but I should have done me half before I came up here tonight. Aye, I'm going to charge you a boundary. So many of you no doubt follow my Facebook page, and I'm very grateful. Of course, it's went rather bonkers this week, and I've had, on top of an awful lot of encouragement, I've had an awful lot of criticism. I've had people badgering me, people coming on and trying to turn the Scottish Government's crime into my crime, and I just don't accept it. It's as simple as that. It's all about the children of Scotland. It's not about me, it's not about Stephen Pollard. It's not about Eileen Dempsey, who is a former teacher, retired now. Eileen's here with 2 offers from 2 retired headmasters. So we've got professional people who have dealt with children here. And again, I'm very, very proud. How many of you follow my Facebook page anyway? Because you raise your hands. If you don't raise your hands, I'm coming to see you. I know Richard Lucas has only started following my Facebook page, but he knows better. Really great to see you all here. The sad part of it all is that the police have approached me to tell me there's a problem with COVID in the station. Really. Well, it happens to be that we are going to do something in here tonight that the Scottish Government aren't doing with us. We're going to show respect, we're going to show dignity, and we're going to act in a civil manner towards police and each other, because we've got respect not only for the children but for one another. And so therefore the police have said that we're either going to give a statement in my taxi or in a police van. We'll not be getting into the police office. So we're told that, and we'll just need to accept it. There's not much we can do, but that does not mean we can't make the complaint, because I want the complaint made tonight, not tomorrow. I want to put an end to Nicola Sturgeon. Taking our children cheaply. It's stopping, and it's stopping now.
Stay as full.
so many people to thank that have come along. An awful lot of faces I don't know. You don't know my ugly face anyway, on Facebook of course, but it's just a pleasure to be here. I've been, in recent times, the people that do follow me will realise I have been very critical of Glasgow, and I've took a lot of stick for that. Nobody loves Glasgow any more than me. The only reason I've been given stick to Glasgow is the state that Glasgow's in. Once again, due to the SNP in Glasgow, they simply don't care about our city. So therefore, I felt compelled not to brush the rubbish and the rats to the pavement or under the bridges, but to actually bring it out in the open. Because Glasgow certainly required more than a spruce up for COP26. You may have seen me on television and STV having a go at Colin Edgar, who's the, I don't even know who he is. That's how insignificant he is. But listen, he's on 98 grand a year. He talk a lot of mince. At least what I do for my city's done for my heart. He is a nothing, collecting 98 grand a year out of taxpayers' pocket. I'm touched to see you all. I really genuinely am rather nervous, and I hope you realise I'm not a professional speaker unless I'm in my taxi talking to one person. So I'm going to pass you on to Richard Lucas, who is going to say a few words, maybe more than a few, hopefully more than a few, because this man has got the knowledge to bury Nicola Sturgeon in the SNP. I would ask you all to tune in to the Scottish Family Party. I would ask you all to tune into the Scottish Family Party and Richard's videos, because it was a couple of years ago I was sent a link to the banana and Nutella video link, and I've never seen anything so disgusting. I was in a state of shock when I read this. An illustration of a banana dipped into Nutella chocolate as they're talking about anal sex. Now, I know it's disgusting, it is utterly disgusting that children have been sent this, and Richard's got them inside out. He's got the knowledge, he's got the words, he's got the intelligence, he's a former teacher, he's the leader of the Scottish Family Party, and I'm going to welcome Richard up onto this stage just now. Before I go, I want to say once again, thanks to each and every one of you for coming along here and caring about the Scottish children. It's an absolute pleasure to talk to you.
Oh, what a crowd, what a crowd. Now, somewhere in Glasgow Council, there'll be a room that says Child Protection Department. But that's not the Child Protection Department. You're the Child Protection Department. And what you're doing is going to make a difference, because the government thinks they can do what they like in this sort of area, and just no one will mind, it just floats on by, and people don't really care. Well, they're getting a shock here, aren't they? They're going to see pictures, they're going to see your lovely faces, and they're going to think, oh, maybe this is not such a good idea after all. Now, I publicised this event. Steph's little thing there, in Glasgow Cabbie, and someone put a comment underneath, straight away. They said, oh, you think a cabbie knows more than all the academics and professionals, do you? And I replied, yes! Of course I do. Everyone with decent values would realise that. If you want to find the truth, if you want to find decency, integrity, you don't go to the professionals and the academics in this sort of area. You go to ordinary people. Because that's where there's still some decent values. Now, when it comes to the experts and the professionals, I find that these days, when it comes to the experts, there seems a pretty fine line between experts and perverts. Yes. And I don't say that lightly. And the man who's in charge of sex education at the government's resources in Scotland, Dr. Colin Morrison, doctor, he's got a PhD, he wrote a dissertation. What did he write about in his dissertation? The need to break down the barrier between childhood and sexuality. Oh. The need to break down the barrier between childhood and sexuality.
Anathema.
He's the expert. He's been appointed by the Scottish Government to produce the sex education resources. You couldn't make it up, could you? It's unbelievable. One of the big problems we have with this area is we say to people, this is what's going on, here are the images, here are the pictures, and people say, no, surely not. You're making it up, you're exaggerating. See, you're just trying to shock people. It's the truth. It's the truth. It's what's going on in schools. So this survey in particular, the survey is the tip of the iceberg. I'll talk about the iceberg in a minute. Let's talk about this survey, tip of the iceberg. What's the problem with it? So if you're there, 14-year-old girls, you've got these different options. How often have you had sex? When did you have sex? What sort of sex have you? So if you're taking the non, you'll be thinking, oh, I'm really out at the extreme here. Seems like everyone else is. I'm having to tick the non at all box. I feel a bit of a weirdo doing this. Then you get to the other questions, the types of sex. I mean, I'm sure most parents will be thinking they're really hoping their kids at that sort of age are not having sex at all, probably. But they've been asked, obviously, about vaginal sex and anal sex has to come in at every point as well. Normalised. So the message to children in Scotland, just the same, take your pick, equivalent. I've heard from 2 GPs in Edinburgh, 2 GPs, totally independently, saying that they're having teenage girl after teenage girl coming to see them, basically injured by anal sex. But the message of the SNP is, it's all fine, go ahead, really cool the same, don't worry about it. As long as you consent, the other person consents, that is all fine. But maybe, we're not quite as progressive and open-minded as they think. I mean, how many fathers are thinking, yeah, that's what I want my daughter's teaching. Anal sex, that's just fine. Let's make fun of it, let's make those jolly, dip the banana in the Nutella. If that's what you feel you want to do, that's all fine. How many fathers are thinking that to their daughter? Not many, but the SNP thinks the opposite. Now, as I say, the survey is the tip of the iceberg. The sex education of what children are taught is the bigger issue, in my view, much bigger. I said about anal sex, other things as well. I hate talking about these things. If someone had said to me 10 years ago, you're going to be standing talking to a group of people in Glasgow about these things, well, I'd never even have heard of them. I'd have thought, surely not. But they teach children about, again, I hate talking about this, rimming, licking the anus. Oh. They teach it in school. Yeah. I remember they show a video saying that basically anal sex is probably better, feels better. But I mean, women, to me, that's just, it's disgusting. It's a perversion of sexuality. Yet in Scottish schools, here we are, there's this sort of sex, this sort, it's all the same up to you. Bondage. They make like a bondage, a picture of a chicken all strung up together. So, lots of people try bondage. Does that really help the message to teenagers? Are they not? Pornography. Even the beginning of secondary school, the message is, pornography, that's fine. Nothing to feel guilty about. You're going to watch pornography, masturbate to pornography, that's perfectly normal. Don't let anyone make you feel guilty about that. But what is going on? I hope you've all got one of these leaflets. Some more down here. I'm embarrassed to give these out. I mean, this image here, I don't want to understand it, about female genitalia. That's shown in primary schools. Imagine a class there, boys and girls, 10, 11-year-olds, this is up on the whiteboard, labeling the different parts of it. I mean, it's sickening, but it's what's happening. I'm not here to talk about the transgender, but again, the idea that people can change gender. And the fact is, if they say, no, I don't want mum and dad to know, then mum and dad don't know. The school will keep it secret. It's just so wrong. It's so wrong. What's going on here in schools? It's not education. It's half indoctrination. And it's corruption. It's corruption. It's taking children who maybe know their parents have got really good values, the parents know how they want to bring them up, they know how they want them to behave. But the SNP and the Greens, obviously worse, they're thinking, we know better than those parents. Those parents are a bit thick, they're amateurs, they're old-fashioned. We need to get the proper message to children, and the message to children is that sort of debauchery that I've just been outlining. Well, I'll tell you about that. I said Colin Morrison, in charge of the sex education resources, his sidekick, that has performed in this with Satanist banned with Satanist imagery. I mean, I'm not saying it's full of Satanists, but as it happens, the other man involved in it did seem to be quite interested in satanic imagery. Let's put it that way. So what are we going to do about it? Well, you're all doing something. You're at the leading edge of doing something about this in Scotland. As the Scottish Family Party, this is one of our big things. I've written a book about it. It's a pretty substantial book, Corrupting Young Minds. If you want a copy of this, just see Neil here. Give him an email address or a phone number or something. We'll get one to you. We've run out tonight, I think. But make sure you get one of these leaflets. Show it to other people. And when people say, "No, I don't believe that," they're making it up. Say to them, "I can understand that. It is hard to believe that this is what's going on in the schools of Scotland." But take them online, get this book, show them the links, show them that it's true, and then we can start the fight back. Remember, who's the real Child Protection Service in Glasgow and in Scotland? It's us. You're right. Okay, so thanks very much for inviting me.
I did say to you that Richard's got the knowledge. The man has got the SNP taped back to front, and there's no pun intended there. He is genuinely hurt by the SNP, as are all of you, and that's the reason you have come along here tonight. Each and every one of us are hurt by the way our children have been treated. I don't want to babble on tonight. I've just seen two crazy women that I know there. So I always thank them for coming along. They used to serve me in a bar a long time ago in Harrison. Just as well I love them. They always get down for the drink.
Too many
I'm not going to keep going on and on here again tonight. What we wanted to do, the whole idea was to bring you along and hope that you would come along. You've come along in your droves. And from there, we'd hope to enter the police office again. That's not possible. We will make the complaint one way or another, and it will be outside the police office, because I want this complaint in, and I want it made. Yes. And I want Nicola Sturgeon to feel the pain and feel the pressure that she's putting under. Nicola Sturgeon is putting children under immense pressure, and that pressure will come into the parents. A lot of people think, and it's been said in my Facebook page, that I should be thankful to Nicola Sturgeon. Nicola Sturgeon was first to bring my poetry to the fore. She was first to put me in television through my poetry, and I was grateful. I didn't know the woman.
Exactly.
She wasn't looking for a body, I'll tell you that. But I don't want to drag this out too long. I want to thank you all for coming along here. We are going to make our way to see the police, and we're going to make our complaint, and we're going to make it tonight. And I'll just ask you all to please keep an eye on the Facebook page, the Glasgow Cabbie page. We'll keep you absolutely updated on what's happening. I know that it matters to you greatly, it matters to me, but it also matters that I get the information to you guys as soon as I get the information. So whenever I get information, whether it be the police or hopefully the Scottish Government, although Nicola Sturgeon is known for backtracking, well, 10 councils in Scotland of 32 councils have rejected these surveys, these perverted surveys. These councils have done the right thing. These councils care about Scottish children and the children of Scotland. So, yes, shame of the 22 hours. It's time, and no doubt Glasgow accepted these surveys. I don't even like to call them surveys without mentioning the word perversion. But I'm going to let you guys disperse tonight. Thank you all once again for coming along. It's been absolutely fantastic to see as many of you, back the kids. The kids couldn't come here. I see some kids, and that's okay. Yes, but it was up to us, the adults, to stand up for our children. It's not a matter for kids, it's a matter for every concerned adult, whether you have kids or don't have kids, in this country, to stand up for the children. So, I'm going to let you make your own way home, folks. I would like to wish you a fantastic night. Thank you for coming along. Be safe, and thank you.